Welcome to the Homebrew Podcast, where we discuss everything addiction, recovery, mental health. I am Flip.
And I am Luke. Our generation of men, you're not allowed to have feelings.
We're going to talk about things that are uncomfortable, things that are scary, because when you talk about it, you take away its power.
The only thing that's going to keep me clean is me not wanting to be who I was then.
We was in the trenches, now look how we out here ballin'.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Homebrew Podcast. I am Flip. Clean date, April Fools, 2016. I got none. I wanted to do this one.
Don't tell him because you can use it.
I'll do it.
That's BPI.
I'll do it.
Back pocket.
I'll do it.
Information. And I am Luke. Clean date, October 11th, 2017. Okay. I erased it and redrew it.
I mean, it looks phenomenal.
With loud lines.
Yeah, no, it's great. It looks just like the real thing.
I thought it was going to be better.
Episode 19.
Episode 19.
We're here.
19.
Super excited.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah. This is big. We almost hit 20.
Almost. Probably won't. Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. We just had a heart-to-heart.
Yeah, we did.
Right before we came on camera.
Oh, you still have a heart? Because you crushed mine.
Sorry.
There will never be another heart-to-heart. It will be heart to cavernous void in my chest.
See, I don't believe that because you ripped my heart and put it in yours.
Well, is that why I feel so heartless right now?
Want to be so honest.
I got an ice box where my heart used to be. So cold, it's so cold, it's so cold, it's so cold.
We just had a heart-to-heart about the podcast, things we're trying to accomplish, things we're not trying to accomplish. The way that it went, it got deep. It got
real deep.
Raw.
Real raw. Raw dog.
Things got accomplished, though.
Things definitely got accomplished.
We're in a great place.
Flip, you are, and this is very important to have someone like you on the team. You are very driven, and you always look to that next goal.
Yep.
And sometimes by doing that, it hinders you from appreciating the moment, which is, just in your nature.
Yep.
For everything that we've ever done.
Everything.
All of our ventures.
Yeah. If you look at it, that's probably the reason a lot of our ventures have not been successful, because I don't care how we get through that wall. If I have to bulldoze through it, then that's just what we're doing. Look at the bounce house, the jump off, RIP the jump off.
Rest.
It actually just got closed officially by the state of Florida.
Rest in peace.
Epiphany Blankins did my, I don't know if I'd call it a horoscope or fucking future reading or whatever it was, but this thing, and what was I, the Explorer, which is basically, I'm willing to try anything.
Yeah.
I'm willing to try anything. We'll figure it out as we go. I'm just going to try a million different things. And that's kind of what I do.
And I was the handsome comedian who's just like the guy. If you need to be saved out of a building or anything, with jokes. So.
Yeah, I'm the guy running through the building and you're the one making witty puns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not helping the situation.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
So that was a really long, drawn-out way of saying how I am.
Right.
As an individual.
Right, and it's important, but what I was saying is it's important to have somebody like you on the team to always strive for that next goal. Now, on the flip side, big pun, I am the type of person who is just going to go with the flow and appreciate all the things that we have and not really strive to that next thing. I will get comfortable with where I'm at and I will dig in. Homebody as F. Yeah. ASF, as the kids say. You know what else they say? What? No cap.
Yeah.
Which is weird because we both have caps on.
It is.
Dead ass. I'm dead ass. about that. So
Let me ask you, do you think that have you always been that way? Or do you think that because of prison, when you got out, it just made you really appreciate the moment and just living in the moment and just being able to ride that wave?
dude, I think prison did a lot of things for me. Yeah, I appreciate stuff a lot more after being out.
You're just happy for what you got.
Yeah, man. I feel like I've always been like that. I don't know, dude. Maybe not, though, because I've been an addict for like my whole life. And I think, I don't know what it is, dude. I think I got severe ADHD. And
Define
that.
severe.
So, okay, I'll define severe. I was reading a book earlier. Psych. I read a chapter of a book earlier. Psych. I thought I read a chapter of a book earlier. Instead, I read the words. I know I read the words. But when I got to the end of the chapter, all I realized was that I was imagining a fight between Kurt Cobain and Benjamin Franklin the whole time. You know what didn't happen? I didn't retain anything. I couldn't tell you what it was about. I know what I was reading.
What's the name of the book?
We're not really supposed to talk about it, but it's a recovery book.
Oh, okay. You live in the moment.
Yeah.
And you're able just to ride that wave.
Mm-hmm.
And so Luke and I had unintentionally, we walked in and Theodore grilled us.
Yeah.
Was like, listen, you guys need to sort out this fight you guys are in. And we didn't even know we were in a fight.
I thought immediately, I thought I was getting kicked off of the podcast. I said, oh my God, burn the ships. This is a mutiny. I've burned the ships and I have no exit strategy now. I have nothing. I have no contingency plan put in place at all.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening right now?
First and foremost, that's never even a thing.
I always think the worst, you know what I mean?
So it's interesting that you say that because you're able to live in the moment and appreciate the things where they're at, but you also have that...
Pessimistic.
Interesting.
Well, look at the landscaper's lawn, bro. I got a broken window in my work truck right now. So, like, I can give advice all day long, but, like, applying it to myself is another story.
I know you are not alone when it comes to that, because when it comes to any type of life advice or relationship advice or anything, it's always easy to be the outside person giving that advice on that shit all day long.
Dude, you want to know how to get jacked in the gym? I'll give you advice, perfect form. You know what I mean? But hey, feast your eyes, homeboy. All right.
I was gonna say you've been looking good. You've been doing that Zeus workout?
No, I have not. I've been doing that Seuss workout.
That snooze workout?
Green eggs and ham, Playboy.
No, my alarm went off at 5:15 this morning, and I cussed at my phone.
Yeah.
I yelled at my phone at 5:15 this morning. It's not his fault. He was just doing his job.
He was doing his job.
Per my orders.
He understood the assignment.
And he did it perfectly.
And you did not.
I punched my phone.
Did you go?
No.
Right.
No.
That's okay.
I put my phone in my son's room with the alarm going off and went back into my room.
I think it says a lot that you keep setting that alarm, though, and you keep setting clothes out to go to the gym the night before. Even if you don't go, you're still holding on to hope that you're not going to be a fat, lazy piece of shit for the rest of your life.
Well, see, with me, it's there's a part of me that wish I could get fat.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like, if you want to work out, you have to have body mass to make that happen.
Right.
My problem is I look like I just got out of detox. If I stop going to the gym, people are like, hey, you seen Flip? He ain't doing something good.
That's crazy. That's what happens when we get out of the gym. You look like you just left detox, and I look like I just left the buffet. Hometown.
I have gotten, because I tweaked my back a couple episodes ago, just waking up in the morning.
That's gifts of recovery. That's what we get to do now.
That kept me out of the gym for a week, and I have struggled to go consistently since.
That's all you need.
I've gone a couple days.
That's all you need is one good week out for the devil to just sink his fingernails into your deltoids and say, just chill, baby.
Just chill.
Just chill, baby. We good, baby.
Yeah.
We gonna ride this thing out. Let's go get some tacos.
And then I go back to sleep, and my alarm goes off at 7, which is when I have to get up to get the kids ready and get myself ready, and I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in myself. Ironically enough, it ties into the reading today, because the reading had to do with self-esteem, self-worth, all of that stuff. It was titled Time to Take the Masks Off. I'm 37 years old. I've been clean for 7 years. What was that?
Good.
Well, when I said I was 37 years
No,
old,
no.
you made a face.
No, I thought honestly, I was thinking like we've been friends for a while.
That's not the face that you would make if you were thinking that.
No, I mean like I'm still like young and stuff, but like I thought like
That was I'm
still like
you just Kevin Hart and Don Cheadle.
No.
You just Kevin Hart and Don Cheadle.
No, I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying like I'm like a young I'm like a young buck, and like sometimes I think stuff, but I'm not. Continue. Just go ahead with what you were saying, partner.
I'm 37 years old. I got clean when I was 30.
Yeah.
So that was 30 years of when I was supposed to be learning how to process feelings, process emotions, be able to have healthy friendships, healthy relationships, learn how to be a human being. Because when you're in active addiction, like we were, we are animals. We are not human.
Heavy.
I've only had 7 years to try to figure this thing that they call life out and learn how to process and learn how to verbalize my feelings and my emotions. So you have the recovery element. You add in friendships, you add in relationships, you add in parenting, you add in showing up to a job every day. You add in just normal human stuff that people have been doing. It makes things very, very difficult.
Yeah, nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings.
When it comes to this, I have a certain mindset. I know you're riding a wave. And so, like, for me, I don't want to push or drive things. But over time, when we don't verbalize and properly process our emotions and feelings, over time, they turn into resentments.
Right.
And that is ultimately what is going to sink the ships. We don't have to worry about burning them because they're sunk.
Right.
That's one thing that in my relationship, my wife and I try to do is if she is frustrated with something that I'm doing or I'm frustrated with something she's doing, to verbalize it. Now, do I do that all the time? No, because I pick my battles. Right. But the problem is I will internalize all these minuscule things in the grand scheme of things. They're minuscule. But you get enough of those and it turns into something. I work up scenarios in my head. If I tell Luke that I feel we are not moving at a fast enough pace, he's going to punch my beard off my face.
Yeah.
Well, and
I've said it
numerous times.
I've said it a few times. It's out of love, though.
Punching my beard off my face?
It's love punches. Can we talk about that baseball game? We talked about it on the last episode. You had bought the tickets for you and your dad, but he was sick, so you needed me to fill in.
I had the tickets, right, for Father's Day.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a tradition that I'm trying to start.
Yeah.
Where instead of just buying him like a t-shirt or something, like take him to a game. It's an experience.
Right.
And I figured since he couldn't go, the next best thing to honor kind of that commitment was I was going to take my son.
Yeah.
And all my son had to do was keep a good attitude in his basketball game.
Yeah.
And my son quit on his team.
Quit.
He cried 4 minutes in, which I was an uber competitive kid. So, like, I can understand. But I was never quitting on my team. I don't care if the score is 9,000,000-0. Like, I'm out there.
Right. And now you're in a situation.
I was in a situation where I told him before the game, I said, listen, I was supposed to take Grandpa to the baseball game. He's not feeling good. If you are able to keep a good attitude, win or lose in this basketball game, I'm going to take you to the baseball game. And he was so excited. And then we started playing basketball, and he quit on his team. When I say quit, walked off the court, opposing wall, sat on the wall, just watching his team get mollywopped. And I was put in an interesting scenario because something that I struggle with is following through with punishments.
Yeah, well, this is a teaching moment for both you guys now.
It was, and it was not easy. We got home. I called Pops. I said, listen, here's the scenario. He said, well, listen, if you don't take him, there's no guarantee that he's going to learn the lesson. But if you take him, he absolutely will not learn the lesson. I called Tiffany because I needed her help watching the kids because my wife had to do some real estate stuff. And I was talking to her about it, and she gave me some great advice. And she said, listen, you said it. You have to stick to it. And I know it sucks, and it's going to be hard, but you have to do that. And then I called you.
Yeah, and I know it was a hard decision for you. It's pretty easy for me. You called me. You said, hey, want to go have some peanuts at a ball game? I said, I'm buying the glizzies.
Yep.
And we're there.
And we were in this stadium 3 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was walking and I was talking to you. And then I realized that there was an old lady walking next to me and you were no longer there. And I said, I looked, and then here you come running with 2 foot-long glizzies.
Yeah.
Dude, look. We got to our seats.
Yeah.
Such a cool experience.
It was. You know what? All I kept thinking, though? These poor alcoholics, man. And, like, to go to a baseball game and you got these guys, beer here, ice cold beer here. Like, could you imagine somebody walking up and down those stairs talking about, heroin here, get your heroin here, get your blue skis, I got your blue skis here, and just like popping them around. You know what I mean? That's so crazy to me. It's got to be so tough for an alcoholic to stay clean.
I've said that a million times. I've said, like, hats off to the alcoholics, because if I could walk into the gas station and buy painkillers, and what's crazy is there's a lot of, like, TV shows. Well, first of all, I feel like every other commercial is a commercial for some sort of alcohol.
Right.
And then a lot of TV shows glamorize it.
Yeah.
And it's like this socially acceptable thing. And then you'll have shows like Euphoria that, like, make the addicts look like the scummiest people.
Right.
They don't glamorize it.
Yeah, they don't say, like, do cocaine responsibly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't ever hear that.
Yeah. Can I tell you my favorite part of the game? Was you yelling the most nicest insults at the umpires.
I had them people riled up.
Listen.
I had them people going. They loved me in there.
Yeah. He was yelling. He had old ladies that were sitting in front of us fist bumping us.
Yeah, they were high-fiving us and stuff. Hey, up, I hope you lose your car keys tonight. I hope you stub your toe first thing in the morning.
I hope your AC goes out in your car on the way home. He's yelling these things at the ump, and, like, the ladies were getting such a kick out of it.
Yeah.
Bro, it was a blast, though, and it was a really, really cool game. Really crazy how it happened. Home team went down 5-0, came back. That place erupted when it was 5-5.
It was a barn burner.
Yeah.
I'm not really into sports, but I enjoy a good sweat.
Yeah, and you also enjoy a good glizzy.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The glizzy sweats.
Yeah, because not only did you wolf down that footlong, you went back for a chili cheese dog and nachos. And there's Dippin' Dots, and there's churros, and there's...
I had the nachos, too.
Yeah, I know you did. And the donut, don't forget about the donut.
It was free. They
Yeah,
just gave it to me. Like,
They said,
what are you supposed to say?
you have to take it.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Am I going to be disrespectful to that nice lady? Free donut. No, thank you. No, come on.
That was a
Yes,
really
please
good donut.
give me all of them.
That was a really good donut.
Yeah. I almost was like, let me do a split transaction so I can get 2 free donuts. You know what I mean? Can I buy one and then the other one? I'll just hop to the back of the line, or what?
Well, I mean, if this is an honest podcast. You said, on second thought, I only want the one hot dog, and you paid for it, and then you turned your hat around and walked around a corner, and you said, what do we have here? And you changed your voice. You were talking like the Monopoly man. What is this? Some gentleman just walked by me and said, you're giving out free donuts. Okay, so, I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And so those donuts were delicious.
Yeah, I mean, and the hot dog fit right inside the hole perfectly when I ate it. I'm so lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody to call my own.
So,
Feelings. So, back to our feelings. Do you think your childhood and how you were raised, you said you were raised by women. Do you think that played a part in how you wear your emotions on your sleeve and how you handle situations?
absolutely. I mean, I was raised by my grandma, my aunts, my mom. Like, that's just the way it was,
Right.
you know? And when my stepdad came into the picture, my stepdad provided something that my mom and me never had, which was stability, right? Which is a huge thing. He's not really an emotional guy. You know, like when I had my first heartbreak, I didn't go to him and talk to him about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I talked to my mom about it. And like,
What was his name?
the wiener dude makes a joke about me having a boyfriend, and his name was Francisco. So having those women to lean on made a huge impact on how I view things, how I process things, and, you know, probably why I'm so irrational. No? Probably shouldn't say that. And it's why I always had
That tracks.
always
It's tracking.
so easy for me to make friends with females. My wife's mom, her sisters, and all of her friends, they like me more.
They love you.
No. I mean, yes, but they like me more.
Yeah.
They like me more.
Don't say that. Cut. Don't say that. Right? That's a cut.
It's true.
It's true. Okay. So it's not a cut.
No.
It's a well-known fact.
Yeah, it's a well-known fact. But, you know, it's just the way that I was raised. It's the way that I was brought up. And I love talking about feelings, and I love talking about emotions. And I have no problem. So what? I watch a Hallmark commercial.
Tears, right.
Tears. We're watching a show right now, All American, and it's just got those, you know, life lessons in it that I already know. Every time.
Football tears.
Every time.
Yeah.
Well, I say, you okay? Yeah, it's something in the
It's
fan.
It's the cats.
The fan.
We don't have cats.
Yeah.
That's the cats.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about recording at the studio, and there's cats there, and so it just, you know.
Thinking about cats.
Dude didn't see the cat run across the screen? The people that got the cat. It triggers the reflex.
Yeah.
Now, I know you.
Were raised by
Wolves.
grizzly bears.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that,
Yeah.
did that come into play with?
100%. 10 generations of boys. My brother's daughter was the first girl for 10 generations. When my grandma dies, my niece, my brother's daughter, is going to be she's like 13. She'll be the oldest living woman in our family. She'll be the matriarch of the
That's
family.
wild.
Yeah. And then there's my daughter.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, my mom definitely made sure that I was like emotionally in tune, right? She was a very spiritual person. But all in all, like, 3 older brothers and my dad and my mom, like, you know, she's outnumbered.
I feel like you've gotten a lot better since when you first got out, at least being able to express those things. It's still not easy for you to do. A lot of times I have to pry it out of you.
I don't think it'll ever just flow out of me.
Maybe.
Maybe. It'll take some hard work. I might need to see a therapist.
Hey, listen, I am a huge advocate for therapists. For the first time I saw a therapist was when I was 13 years old. Again, I was raised by women. There ain't no shame in that.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as I started acting up in school, my mom was like, you need to go talk to somebody. And I said, but I'm talking to you. And I talked to the guidance counselor and I talked to the principal. And she said, no, you need to talk to somebody professionally.
I could already hear my dad, like my mom being like, we should send Luke to therapy. And my dad being like, what is he, a fucking sissy? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know I was raising a female.
And I think that that's why I had so much success in rehab when I took it serious, is because when I tell you, obviously you have like class, right? And you have group sessions. But then a lot of those teachers offer like one-on-ones. And a majority of people didn't do it. I took advantage of every single one. Like, I even went to the crazy lady that everybody told me not to go to because she was going to make me howl at the moon and stand like a tree.
Did you?
Oh, I was howling.
No.
I was howling. I know that ultimately, bigger picture,
Did you have clothes on?
Yes,
Oh,
I had
okay.
clothes on some of the time. And so I was taking advantage of all these things because ultimately I know that was necessary for me to work through things. Now, the crazy thing about therapy and working with a therapist or a licensed professional is I always thought that I go in and I tell them, hey, this is why I messed up. And then I stop talking.
And they bang you.
And then they just drop knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb. And then I'm cured.
Right.
What I've learned is you go in there and they're like, so tell me what's going on.
Right.
And then I talk and they still don't say anything.
Yeah.
They'll ask kind of open-ended questions. So why do you think you felt that way?
Yeah, they're just like guiding you into figuring your own shit out. Right.
But that's the beautiful part.
Is it?
It
sounds like a waste of money.
No, you have so many eye-opening experiences when you are able to turn the light on. Because here I am, I think I'm going to tell them, and they're just going to walk to the wall and flip the switch for me. And it's going to be one of those aha moments.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And
Thanks.
no. And there, you know, you go in and you're blindfolded.
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
Oh, I was going to say, like, what type of place is this? Oh, my God.
Give me the number. Metaphorically blindfolded.
Were there whips?
And they're guiding you on this journey to figure out yourself.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. It was the way that I was able to come to terms with a lot of things about myself. It was, I could literally spend so much time telling about just simple things. Like when I would walk through crowds of people, I would look down. I always looked down.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, why do you do that? And, you know, through that experience, I learned that it was because of my self-esteem, my self-worth issues. And
you used to look for money on the ground when you were getting high.
Maybe.
I still do it.
Yeah. I'll pick up a penny. I don't care.
Right.
I'm picking it up. But
right.
No, it was because I just thought so little of myself that I was beneath everybody. And she said, okay, what do you think would happen if you looked up? And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, well, do you think, maybe you could try it? And, you know, next thing I know, I'm walking, I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad.
This is kind of nice.
Yeah. And so it's
nice.
it's so many little things like that ultimately I describe to people that my recovery and my life is like a giant jigsaw puzzle, right? And in my active addiction, there's pieces everywhere. And all of these things were just me putting a piece together, you know? And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, the puzzle's never going to be complete. Because as soon as I think the puzzle's complete, I'm in bad shape.
Well, I'm definitely missing some corners, my boy. I'm missing some edgies. You feel me?
Yeah. And so I've just been accumulating all of these pieces and getting them in place. And I still have a lot to learn. And I still have a lot to learn about myself.
Yeah.
Areas that I need to grow.
Yeah.
Things that I need to do better. And so, I encourage anybody out there to seek help. However, whether it is recovery-based meetings, whether it is speaking to a licensed professional, there is no shame in that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, you can't control my life. I have to be with myself when the lights are out. It's me. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let a little ego or insecurity or whatever get in the way of me being the best version of myself. And for me, it was speaking to therapists and social workers and psychologists and going to meetings and speaking with a sponsor. And the moment we had before we aired this podcast, that was an area of growth.
Right.
For me.
For sure.
And it's something that it was a learning lesson for me. And it's an area that I feel better now.
Right. Would you rather talk to a woman counselor or a woman therapist than a
woman?
Okay.
Hands down. But that's who I feel comfortable expressing
because you were
myself.
Raised by women.
That's who I feel comfortable expressing myself to.
Okay.
It's harder for me to talk to another man because you get that ego and that pride and like.
Yeah, no, I got
you know what I mean?
No, for sure.
And so for me, it's easier to talk to women about those things.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm trying to work on, my communication with the men in my life on where I'm at. I mean, like if I'm struggling with a situation, I have no problem picking up the phone and calling you and saying like, this is where I'm at. And then you hit me with some max perspective shit. And then I say, oh, that's cool. And then I hang up on you. And then you call me back. Yeah. And then I'm like, I'm going through a tunnel under a mountain, underwater, backwards. I got really bad reception.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I can hear your TV. Like you're in your living room right now.
But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And so it's a continued work in progress.
Right.
And that's, I tell people, that's why I'm grateful that I'm an addict. Because normal people aren't, they just have normal lives.
Yeah,
and
they don't have to look at.
They're not forced.
Right.
They were never in a situation where they were forced to look at that man or woman in the mirror.
Right. Well, nobody's forced. If everybody was forced, then we would all be in recovery and we would all be doing great.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are even still addicts that are not forced.
Yeah.
They don't have that willingness that you talk about.
Exactly. I had that willingness to do whatever it took to figure this shit out because I was tired of starting over. And I'm not getting any younger, as you so eloquently put it earlier when I told you my age.
No. I was just saying, like, damn, we've been friends for a long time, bro. Like, I was like almost a teenager when we became friends. Did you see my worry stone?
Yeah.
Did you smell it?
I did. Why does it smell like that?
I'm trying to put my finger on it. I'm not sure.
It smells delicious.
It might be,
it smells like coconut oil.
Coconut. Well, we're talking about feelings.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe somebody watching this would think like, why hasn't Luke said anything? But, I mean, that speaks to what I was saying when we first started talking about all this. Is like, I'm not at a point where like, I know how to talk about my feelings yet. And I think that's okay. And I'm working at it. And even like right now, me talking about it, like my voice is cracking. And like, if I'm not joking around about something, I'm really inverted and I don't know what to do with my hands. And I'm like, I get like nervous and my legs start going and like, I don't know how to express those feelings. I don't know how to sit in that quiet. You know what I mean? So like I joke and
yeah, it's a defense mechanism.
I guess you could call it that. I mean, if that's usually like, I think like the best defense is a good offense, but.
So, okay. Obviously in prison, you can't have feelings.
Yeah, you can't have feelings in prison.
And when you first got out, you were
Let
going.
me tell you something, dude. When you get off of that bus, when you're heading to prison from county on that bus, and you're shackled, one guy next to you, you guys are shackled at the leg, shackled at the wrist. All right, you're paired in twos. You get off of, you don't know what to expect. You get off of that bus, and you immediately get just berated with insults and slaps in the back of the head and slaps across your chest, slaps in the face. You're stripped down butt naked, and they tell you, you are mine now. You do not belong to yourself anymore. You are mine. Your feelings, your emotions, your physical being, you belong to the state of Florida now.
Mm.
They strip you down butt naked. They take everything from you. Bust your butthole open. I want to see that thing wink. That's a direct quote.
Mm.
Okay? From Sergeant Garcia.
Damn.
They call him Smackahoe. Sergeant Smackahoe.
Damn.
Yeah, man, and I went through that twice. And I think, the first time it was like I was young and like kids bounce back from it easily, but the second time I was a little bit older and like a little bit more self-aware, and I think it did a number on me. And I'm still at that point where I'm institutionalized, and I feel like, I get like a flashback of like, as soon as I start to like feel something, and then I'll bring it back in, I'll reel it back in, because I'm scared to share that with somebody, because it's been mine for so long in that situation that like, I don't know, man. It's weird. So like, if anybody was wondering like why I'm so quiet while we're talking about fucking feelings, that is why.
I also think that possibly you got out of prison. You were doing the meeting thing, but,
Right.
and I don't want to say you weren't vested, because you were vested, but you weren't necessarily doing the work, right? Until your brother went back out, which,
Right.
Drove you to, holy shit, I got to do some work. So you're still brand new into step work.
Right. You were when you said that you had been working on yourself for 7 years since you were 30 years old. I thought about it and I was like, yeah, like I say, I'm coming up on 6 years clean, but like realistically, that first 3 years of my recovery, there was no recovery. There was survival. I was just trying to not get fucking stabbed, just trying to not get high in there. There was no like working on myself and, working the steps and all that shit. Like honestly, like I was just trying to make it out of there and get home to my mom. And then I get out 7 months later, my mom dies. Right. So I'm in a situation where like I put myself around the right people when I got out, and then my mom passed, so I was able to bring myself back into the fold. And then not too long after that, like everybody that I put myself into the fold with went back out. All the people that I looked up to in recovery, with the exception of you, went back out at the same time.
Yeah.
I lost everybody, my whole support network. You know what I mean? So, it's hard, dude. We're in a very high risk circle of people where it's hard to get close to somebody. It's hard to show somebody your emotions and your feelings because you don't know when that's going to get taken away from you. So, and I think that's where I'm at, really. And that's why I'm so reserved with my emotions and my feelings.
So do you think that doing the step work and like what does it take? What do you think it's going to take? And I know it's uncharted territory for you, so there's no way that you can know. But what do you think that it takes for you to get to that point? Because I know as a friend, right, who genuinely cares about your well-being.
Right.
That's why like I've done certain things to not necessarily try to pull it out of you, but to show you that like it's okay, right? That's actually how we first connected. Was you were in active addiction, you were sleeping out of your car, and I told you a secret that I had not told anybody.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell you for any other purpose but to hopefully plant the seed that it's okay to kind of come clean about things
Right.
with a fellow guy who's not your family.
And that stuck with me.
I know it
That
did.
did stick with me.
I know it did.
Because I've never, other than family, I'd never had anybody that did that. So that definitely stuck with me. And I think I just need to just keep chipping away at it. It's a process, right? I'm not going to get to a point where I can, be someone like you, where you are emotionally, and like be able to express myself emotionally overnight. Like that's not going to happen. It's a process. It's a gradual process. And as long as I'm not taking a step back, if I take just one tiny step forward each day, even if I fall, I at least made that step and got uncomfortable for even if it's a second, where when I get back up, I'm on that next step and I'm slowly climbing those stairs.
And I think it's important when you're in that process to first of all, not compare yourself and where you're at, right, to anybody. Because yes, I've been doing the work for 7 years, but that's how I was raised. I was raised to show your emotions and to show your feelings, right? So, I mean, I've been doing it my whole life.
Right.
So while it might look effortless for me, I mean, shit, I've been doing it my whole life. If I handed you a pencil and a piece of paper, you can whip up a masterpiece. You've been doing it your whole life.
Draw your wiener or whatever.
There it is. I
joke.
thought we were going to make it through an
I
app.
know.
I thought we were going to make it through an app. Wow.
But there's the joke as well.
Yeah.
There's the defense mechanism. We're getting too emotional, so I need to talk about wieners, right? And it's sick.
But it's just where you're at. There's nothing, I think, and this is my opinion, the common misconception with expressing thoughts or feelings or emotions or whatever that looks like, there is no right or wrong. There is no, it is a process. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint.
Right.
Right? This is a forever thing. Because even though I wear my emotions on my sleeve and I have no problem talking about it, there's still situations where I fall short. There's still certain things that I may not want to talk about. And so does that mean that I've completely reverted and I've lost and I'm wrong? No. It's just a moment that I need to accept, understand, and figure out how to not do that in the future. And so I think you've made tremendous progress from where you were.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's not a race.
You've helped me a lot.
And that's what we do as friends.
Yeah.
You help me, I help you, And it's what I love about it, and what I love about the recovery side of it is to have genuine friendships that are not transactional.
Right.
You've never helped me with the expectation that I'm going to return that, and vice versa. It's just always something. God, if you had $1 for every time I had you pull out the slide and put it away,
It started with dinners, remember? You owe me like 27 dinners.
I do owe you 27 dinners.
For haircuts.
For haircuts.
For Jordan.
For Jordan.
Yeah.
That's how it did start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we're keeping track or anything. This is totally non-transactional or anything. So,
yeah, 27 dinners.
You
know. But no, it's one of those things that it's a beautiful thing when you can have genuine friendships that there are no expectations and it is just two people that are trying to bring out the best versions of each other. And I fail, you fail. We come together, we try to figure it out and try to figure out a way to move forward. And, it's just, it's a process. And I've enjoyed having you along for the ride.
Likewise.
It's been a beautiful thing.
Oh, God, people are crying in the studio right now.
Oh, God. Is it the cats? No. It's not the cats. The beautiful thing about this journey and recovery and all of this is, and it's the one thing that I hold so dear to me, is the relationships that I've built off of nothing else than wanting to have someone's back and see them be the best versions of themselves, right? Because my entire life in active addiction, I was your friend because you had to connect, or because you got paid on the weeks that I didn't, or whatever. They were all transactional.
Trying to steal your cell phone.
And there's so many times that there's a lot of heavy shit that you and I have been through in this short amount of time, because in the grand scheme of things, it's been a short amount of time, that looking back, it is so fucking cool to see how people have showed up. You know what I mean? And it's not by the masses. It's a very small number. But I will take that small number, because I know that hands down, no matter what, if shit hits the fan when we leave here, I got some solid people that got my back. You know what I mean? Don't do it. Don't do it. We're not going to do it. Okay? We're not going to do it. Don't do it.
Feelings.
And that's that.
How about that baseball game, huh? Boy, oh boy. Barn burner.
Yep. We love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. The support still comes in on the merch, on the Patreon. Yep. It still amazes me.
In case you were wondering about the merch, like, it's all you have to do is take your pointer finger and go like this one time on your phone, and it's all right there. Now,
bingo. It's all right there.
Thanks to Epiphany Blankins. She snapped.
Yeah, super snapped. We got some exciting new merch coming soon.
Yes.
That people have been asking.
People been asking about it. Should I tell them?
I'm not saying. Go ahead, tell them. Tell them.
It's hashtag sweet boy.
Hashtag sweet boy coming soon.
Hashtag sweet boy coming soon.
Because
it's me.
He's a sweet boy.
I'm a sweet boy.
And so super excited about that. Super excited about the journey. Episode 19 in the books.
19 in the libro. Libra. We'll figure it out. We'll get to it next time.
Yeah. Until next time, if you have today, give yourself a
very depressing teardrop down your face for the sad episode.
Oh, God, Snickle Fritz.